In this video, I'm gonna show you how to do a return on Facebook Shops. All right, originally this video was going to be a simple how to do a return on Facebook Shops video. And I had already created the whole intro and first half of how to do it in the walkthrough, which we're gonna go into, but then it got out of hand. The customer I was dealing with just wasn't responsive and wasn't understanding anything I was telling her and just kind of being a little threatening. I had a return sitting in my Shops account for almost a month. It felt like, at least it was multiple weeks minimum. I'm gonna walk you through my experience of doing my first return hands-on that I did myself and without like any VA or anything, just so that you can see what kind of bullcrap I had to deal with. So let's jump in. This is the first time I've ever gotten one. I don't know how I haven't gotten one yet, but just got the email today and I figured I'd walk you through the process of how I'm gonna handle it. Pretty soon I'm gonna jump in the computer and we are gonna go click by click on what I do. Now, there are some things to pay attention to in this video because this isn't just a one item return. Hopefully this can help more of you not only learn how to do a return if you haven't had to do one yet on Facebook Shops, but how to handle some kind of specialty circumstances that can happen. Right now, I've got a return that has 2 items on it. Now, the item is the same product, but they only selected to return one of them, which you'll see here in a second. Amazon, when I ordered both items all on the same order, for some reason, I'm assuming because of distribution stuff, they shipped the item separately. So now I've got something that's arriving today but hasn't yet been delivered, and another thing that was delivered 3 days ago. But they're the same product on the same order. So now when I go to do the return, we're gonna figure out if I need to do 2 separate returns, if it's gonna be uploading a tracking label to Facebook Shops and how that's gonna work out when I have a customer submit the item to either UPS or Kohl's or whatever your situation where you normally return to something to Amazon. I'm really interested to see how this is gonna turn out. Hopefully it doesn't bite me in the ass. We're about to find out. Just to interrupt for a second, a lot of you guys have been asking and inquiring, emailing, commenting, whatever, about those shops that I have a guy that runs. I know like a lot of us have these things where somebody runs a shop for you and you can pay an upfront fee and all that. Well, I got one of those too. If you haven't seen any videos where I've talked about it or been in the Facebook group where I've talked about any of those things, if you're interested, email me. There's a hefty upfront price to get one started. If you're to that level and you just hate the idea of running any of this stuff yourself and dealing with all these stupid problems that Facebook Shops can do. Anyway, I got a guy who does shops and Amazon stores and he's running some of each for me right now and it's going great. And I just wanna be able to share that with you guys if it's an option, because some of you guys are just like so turned off and can't get any momentum. These people do it professionally. They have a whole team and managers set up, and they even have a funding guy. If you're like, man, that upfront fee is a little too much, funding guy helps you with that. I've already had a few people get help with him already, and they're having a blast earning money from this. So make sure, if you're interested in that, email me and I'll get you hooked up. I'll send you some info first. That way you don't have to worry about scheduling a call or anything right away. That way you know if it's for you. Then if you are ready and it is for you, we'll go ahead and get you set up with a call with my guy. So that's it. That's all I've got for you, okay? I've also, if you're interested, I do have a guy who sells Facebook shops that already have marketplace and everything enabled. He like harvested all these shops from back when we were able to get shops approved really easily. Now that nobody's really getting their shops approved, even though some people are, if you've noticed, go check your shops. You might have your shops approved. But if you're just one of those people who's not, which is a lot of you guys, and you're interested in buying a shop, also let me know. I'll get you in contact with that. Anyway, let's keep going. Just had to put those in there. All right, so here's the return I got. It says a customer has requested to return for the following items. You'll need to accept or close this return request in Commerce Manager. You must respond within 2 business days. And I got that today at 10:42 a.m. I've never gotten one of these before, so we're gonna go through it together for the first time. So I can see at a glance that it's this like wooden fence thing. It's like an instant fence. Anyway, this customer I know ordered 2 of them, but it says quantity 1. So I don't know if they actually just have to submit a return for both and they mistakenly didn't, or if this is just how it shows up in email. I can see that the customer's message said that it was cheaply made. Let's go check it out. All right, in here, underneath your orders, there's a returns tab. Now, I previously thought this was just gonna be like a report of returns. Now I can see that it's actually like where you handle return type transactions. So we have options here: send return label, issue refund, close return, and contact customer. I can already tell you right now I'm going to contact the customer because if I look back on this order, it says there was a quantity of 2. Now, they only have a return request on 1. So I don't I don't really know. So I'm going to contact and get clarification on that. I'm also going to contact and double check, because here's the hiccup that I mentioned earlier. You can see here that the order is actually split up into 2 different orders. One was already delivered and then one's being delivered today. So that's another thing. Not only have they only requested to return one of the items, which I need clarification on, I also might have to do 2 separate returns, or maybe I can do a return on both of these through Amazon and then combine the returns. I know I can do that sometimes. So let's see what this ends up doing. Now, both items have been delivered. You can see here, one was delivered on the 1st and one was delivered on the 4th of April. So they're both delivered. I did check the tracking numbers and they're both UPS tracking numbers. You can see here. So I liked that they were UPS tracking numbers. So I kind of lucked out there. We're just gonna check the other one really quick. Boom, both UPS. So I'm curious, normally when I want to return something from Amazon, I have to take it to a local Kohl's store here, or on special circumstances, it will let me drop it off for free at a UPS store. I'm hoping for one of those results. I did get a response back, as we mentioned, that said that she wants me to return both because they're just not gonna work. So let's go in and just see what happens. We're gonna return or replace. Sweet, right here, it lets me check mark both things that I want to do. So that's great. If items you're returning, it has 2 pictures here, we're returning both. Perfect. I'm just gonna say no longer needed. You can pick whatever you want, but I'm just gonna say no longer needed because I know it brings up a comments box, and I'm gonna do that on both of them. So I had already typed this out, but this says the item isn't as sturdy as I needed it to be, so I can't use it for my intended purpose of buying. Okay, I'm just gonna copy that and put it in both boxes and then hit continue. All right, I'm gonna refund it to, they try to do this, so watch out if you don't want this. It says refund to your Amazon account balance. They put this marker on there that says this is the fastest, and they default hit that radio button, and then they don't have a radio button right here because, you know, they don't want you to choose that because they want you to shop on Amazon again. So I'm gonna hit refund to my original card, and we will see here now. I know this can seem maybe kind of boring because I'm just going through the details, but that's the point of this video. I want you to see exactly what I'm doing. All right, we have it to refund back to my Visa that I paid with. That way I can just mark this order as a wash and the money goes back to my card. We're gonna hit continue. All right, so this is what I was hoping for. It says both of these, package 1 of 2, package 2 of 2, the UPS store locations only, no label needed. This is great because that means I can just tell my customer to drop these off at a UPS store location, which are usually found several places throughout your city, and they don't need a label. So they're not gonna have to package anything up. They just need to take these things to a UPS store, which means they're not really gonna know right away that it's an Amazon return, hopefully, most likely. And I'm just gonna send them a QR code and see what happens. So let's see what I actually need to do after this. Make sure these are selected and you didn't actually choose one of these paid return options. Now, if you did want to take a hit, if you really didn't want to tell them, you could take a hit and, you know, do one of these where you pay to have UPS pick it up from their porch. I wouldn't do that, but it's up to you. All right, confirm your return. All right, so it says return code is ready. So that means I'm gonna have our code. Okay, none of this stuff really matters. Let's see what this return code looks like. Chances are QR code, perfect. Sweet, so they will have 2 different return codes. So each item will have its own. So that's something I'm gonna need to note and tell the customer. So let's download this return code and see what it looks like, because I'm curious if it has Amazon branding all over it. Yep, Amazon branding. So what I'm probably gonna do with this, you can do one of 2 things. You could, and I've done this in the past with certain things too, it says Amazon on it. I could simply say, to make this return easiest for you as possible, I selected for it to be returned to my Amazon store that I have, that I also sell on. A lot of my products will ship through Facebook, Amazon, eBay, and whatever. Amazon has the best way to return packages because of their, you know, logistics system, and I'll go ahead and do it this way. That way you don't have to package anything up. You can just drop it at your closest UPS store, which I will give her an address to whatever her closest UPS store is. That way it's just like, man, they're really making this easy for me. Or I could do all of that same thing, but without even mentioning Amazon, and I could take this code, upload it into Canva, and then just block out this Amazon logo with like a white square or something, and then re-download it and give her this. Either of those things are fine. I'm probably just gonna tell her the Amazon thing. I'm probably just gonna let her have exactly this and tell her the Amazon thing, because I'm curious. At this point, she wants to return it. She's gonna return it either way. It's not like her finding out about Amazon is gonna like make or break a deal. So to worry about that too much is kind of a waste of your time. I know a lot of you guys worry about the Amazon thing already, so just don't worry about it. We're gonna do that, and I will update you once I have that all typed out. Okay, so one thing I'm gonna try out is this big blue button that says Send Return Label. We're back in the Commerce Manager under the Returns tab, and this is the return. You know, it says that she only wants to return one, so we have another issue on our hands that I probably need to have her go in and do a return on both. One thing I wanted to look at was the Send Return Label button. I did notice before that they have this awesome thing where you can just like pull out all this information and then add a payment method and just pay Facebook for a shipping label, I'm assuming. I haven't done it, but that makes the most sense. Or they have this upload label option that you toggle. Now, I did kind of play through this, and it's not gonna work for what we need, because I can upload a label and click this and open up a file that I downloaded, and when I try to put in that QR code image, nothing actually loads here. But that also doesn't matter, because even if I select the shipping carrier and scroll down and hit UPS, it wants a tracking number, which these RMA kit things don't have a tracking number on them. It's an RMA ID, but UPS is gonna scan this for a drop off, and then a label is gonna get created at that time. So this isn't gonna work no matter what we do. All right, so last we sent a message was on April 5th. I waited a day, and then on April 6th, I sent another message. And that message just says, "Hi Linda, just checking back in to make sure you got my previous message." Waited another day. On April 7th, around the same time in the morning, I said, "Hi Linda, just checking back in on this to make sure you got my previous message." Again, I said the same thing again. On April 11th, so 4 days later, Linda just says, "I still have not received my return label for the 2 gates I ordered. They are not up to the quality shown on Marketplace. Please send my return labels ASAP." Linda, she has disregarded anything that I've sent up until this point, other than the thanks message from April 4th. I don't know, she's not getting my messages either through email or through this inbox, which is basically just email in shops anyway. Either way, she's not getting my communications. At least they're not clear, or she's just overlooking them. I think it could have to do with when I get a message from a customer on Facebook, it says something like cannot verify sender before it even tells you what it's from, and it's kind of hard to understand. Like immediately, the average person would probably just like junk that out or trash it. So that's probably the issue here, but damn, she's not even trying. So let's continue. I said, "Linda, I've sent you a few messages with no response. I need you to go into Facebook and of course I misspell everything, and because I'm just going too fast, and that's pretty much my fault. But what I'm basically saying is I need you to go into Facebook and choose to return both gates. Previously, you only chose to return one gate." So the whole issue, again, is that she only submitted a return for one item when she ordered 2, and that's kind of my problem. I've already gone to Amazon and selected to return both of these, but for her to get her money back, I need for her to, you know, choose to return them, because I don't want to just cancel and refund an order for no reason on Facebook's end. That might make me look bad. So let's go in and try to get her to, I'm trying to just baby her through the process, man. That was also on April 11th. I responded almost immediately, like within 30 minutes. On April 13th, I wait 2 days, 2 more days. I said, "Hey Linda, just checking back in on this. I want to make sure we can get this done for you." Okay, April 13th at 11 p.m. She says, "Please email my return labels. Capital One is my next call," like threatening to do a chargeback. She goes, "These gates are cheaply put together and I will pursue a refund through Capital One and contact Marketplace. Regards, Linda." All right, so she's just being threatening now, being like, "I'm gonna basically report this charge because you're being an asshole," and I'm not being an asshole. So I don't know. I'm doing nothing but trying to get her through this process. She could have been done with this process a week ago or more, but she's just not responding to anything. So now I probably get a little bit snippy, but let's see what's up. All right, after she sent that last message, a whole day went by again, which is what I expected. I honestly didn't expect her to get back to me, but I just see a random email from Facebook saying that another return has taken place. Now in the meantime, that first return that's just been sitting there for like, I think 2 weeks now or a week. As I'm recording this, I'm not going back and looking at the dates, but it's coming up on a week and a half, I think. So that return's just been sitting there with a red alert icon just saying like, hey man, you gotta get after this. Like, it's just sitting in here. This makes you look bad. And I just ended up closing out the return with a text box that says like, customers not responding to any messages, because it gives you like a little feedback box. I'm like, I'm not getting any feedback from the customer. She's unwilling to help with the return. As soon as she's available, I will be happy to help. So I did that after she sent this last message, and now I get an email from Facebook, and finally she has requested to return the other item. So here's what I said. Now that you have requested the second return, I can generate the labels. All right, here is all you need to do. I'm giving you 2 codes that will need to be scanned by an associate at a UPS store. The closest UPS store to you is, and then I give I look up the old order and I Google whatever the closest UPS store is in the UPS, store search, whatever. And I copy paste that in here. I'm trying to be helpful. I'm trying to make it as easy for them as possible. Here's what I said next. You can take these there and just tell them you are doing an Amazon return. I am setting this return up through our Amazon system to make it much easier for you to return them. It's just much faster and way easier on you. Here are some instructions straight from the website. And then I paste I just paste whatever Amazon tells you to do. And then I sent her attachments, screenshots of the 2 Amazon codes. Like literally I left the Amazon branding on it and everything. Like, take these to the UPS store, have the dude at the counter scan them, because it is 2 separate codes for some reason. And that's it. So that was on April 14th. I wait till April 17th and I message her back because nothing has happened yet. And I said, Linda, I just wanted to check and see if you were able to get those items returned. She said, no, still waiting on the return labels. And I said, Linda, I sent you barcodes both in email and within Facebook. You take these barcodes to a UPS store and they will take them from you for the return. I wait 2 more days. We are now on April 20th. This whole thing started on April 4th or something. I said, Linda, I've sent you barcodes so that you can take these to the UPS store and have them handle everything for you. Every time I get a new message from you, it's from an old message of mine that you didn't respond to previously. Please let me know if you were getting these and if you got the barcodes I mentioned. Okay, didn't get any response for days, and then all of a sudden, suddenly, the return happened. Great. I realized that the returns, whatever, like I got the emails from Amazon saying your refund has been processed for these 2 products. I'm like, what? Linda hasn't messaged me. She hasn't contacted me back, emailed me, nothing. She just did it, which good. I'm glad she was able to figure out the damn UPS store situation without communicating with me. I love that I didn't have to walk her through that process multiple times. So now I go in, now that I have official that the refunds have processed, we are now in a different month. It's May now by the time this happens. I know today as I'm recording this, it's May 5th. This may come out today and may come out tomorrow, I'm not sure. This happened on like May 2nd, so just a few days ago. Finally, it's all done. I went into Facebook and I processed the refund and I'm done with this stupid customer. How dumb of a situation. From a video that I was putting together just to simply show you how to do a return turned into this miscommunication nightmare. So this is an example of what can happen when you're doing a return on Facebook Shops. If you want to learn how to make more money on Facebook Marketplace and Shops with cool products, make sure to watch this video right here.